Alright, we are first seed. In our bracket is Mezel and Brenner. Mezel's almost certainly on Delver. Don't know who Jilly G, our first opponent, is what they're playing. But as it stands, well, let's see if we win the die roll. We don't get to play first just because we're top seed, and we're going to be on the draw. Well, this is a mulligan. Pretty clear. Let's toss this back. 2 Tron pieces and a prism? Sure. I'll keep and put back horror. Maybe putting back a ephemerate's better there. If our opponent's on Tron, I'd rather have the horror. But, well, our opponent appears to be on Jeskai, like everybody else. Everybody else. Boom. That's, that's fine. I don't even know what card I wanted to draw, but, a Muldrifter ain't the worst. Nice relic. That's also not the worst. Let's see if we draw another land. Hopefully we can draw a mine or a plant and just play it and pass with Condescend for 2 up. Well, I can't not play a land, and I can't justify playing Ash Barrens when I only have 1 colored source, so let's just pass Condescend for 1 up. Like, if my opponent doesn't have any pressure, I've got time, right? I could have played Ash Relay, but walking into Sprite seems unconscionable. Not when I could just draw a land and be able to pass turn. Or draw a land and Condescend their Sprite, depending on what they leave up. The hell? Wow, this is greedy as hell. I'm just going to counter the Ephemerate. Might as well make them use the Ephemerate rather than draining their white mana, right? Alright, it's top Tron lands. I'm going to bottom the Prism, because my plan is now evoke Muldrifter and Ephemerate it. I'll lose my Ephemerate to a burn spell, but I'll also just lose it to the Relic anyway, so whatever. And now we're trying to draw Tron. Tron or map is great. Even a Trinket Mage will be fine. Want to just keep me up mana? Okay. Deal. Let's see what we draw. I'm going to play into Sprite. It seems so unlikely my opponent can do anything about that. Also, that was a really good draw. Now I get to go Teachings for Teachings, Flashback Teachings. And my opponent is getting buried very swiftly. They need to draw threats, and they need to draw them immediately. Well, I was thinking if they played an Archaeomancer, I think I would Teachings for Prohibit and then kick Prohibit to counter the Archaeomancer and then cycle Ash Barrens to feed the Relic. But it doesn't matter, I'm just going to go Teachings into Teachings. I've got the Horror to bounce Relic whenever I find a wall, so. Teachings. Are you going to tap Relic for no reason? You should not be tapping Relic here. Like, what am I going to do? Pass with 6 mana instead of flashing back my teachings? Anyway. Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. Yeah, you forced me to use my mana, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to waste that mana, right? I will go ahead and get a Prohibit. Maybe I should get Dispel there, but probably not. Go ahead and play a Dignitary in Plains. Assuming they don't counter this for no reason. Yeah. I've got plenty of time. My opponent has no threats on the board, so I don't need to play into their hand, right? Yeah. I think I'm satisfied just sitting. Eventually I just draw a wall and just go completely ham, and then hopefully win from there. I'm not going to cycle Axe Barons into turn, unless they cast something for some reason. I can't imagine why they would cast something here, though. Right now I'm just going to go Mind Go. I'm going to play a map. If they Sprite here, I might be able to do some things. No. Alright. Map lets me thin my deck a lot. Yeah, I have enough to, well, no. I can't crack map and cycle both Ash Barons and play in crack teachings, or play in flashback teachings, but I can get pretty close. Alright, they finally found a threat. They have not played their land this turn either. Still haven't found a wall, but I got some time. Go ahead and teachings here. Grab Dispel. I want to have both counters. Good out. They'd waste their relic tap, but doesn't really matter. I've got plenty of food for that relic. The hell? Sure. Why? I have more time on my clock, so I'm going to figure out why they did that. Baseline, they did it because it was a card in their hand and it had a highlight, so they just cast it for no reason. I think that's what's going on. They're just not thinking about what their cards do. They're just casting them. So I'm not going to think any deeper on it. I'm just going to cycle this Ash Barons, get a tower for whenever, and then untap and draw anything. Draw on anything. Anythings. Yeah, I can use the Prism here. And then tap the Plains for the Astrolabe that I'm going to get. I don't see a reason to do what they did that turn. Countering the flashback seems really bad, right? But, also missed here, haven't I? I don't want to defend my horror, but I also don't want to lose my horror. So I guess I have to defend it if they're gonna make me. And by defend, I mean counter their counters. If they try to kill my horror, I can get away with that. Right now, I'm just going to target their bounce land. That may change depending on how many instants they force me to use. Use my Dispel. Yeah, I'll just hit the bounce land. Deny them some mana. If they kill my creature into turn, I'm just going to flicker. Alright, they discarded the bounce land. Still looking for a wall. Muldrifter would be good too. Don't really want to use compulsive if I don't have to, but if I draw it, I'm going to just cast it. Okay, sure. That relic could have been a much better card for them, but no swings. I can just bash for more. Sure, I'm gonna swing it 4. If they've got lightning bolt, I think I have to use my flicker, but they don't. All right, I'm just gonna play a tower and pass. I'm winning on the ground, and my opponent has limited amounts of mana and limited amounts of cards that could reasonably be in their hand. So. Alright. Here we are. Do you have a third counterspell? Or a dispel? Sure. If I draw a blue spell, we're in great shape. If I blank, then we're not in great shape. But we're not also not in horrible shape. Redraw. Wall or Muldrifter should lock this game up, but instead I drew another land. My opponent can't use Ephemerate as it stands, because I can, or they can't use it effectively as it stands, because I get to flicker in response. I've had an Ephemerate and no flickers eaten. So if my opponent forces my hand, I want to use flicker first. They get to recast Archaeomancer. That's kind of a bummer. What? Wow, I am way worse shape if my opponent just return their Archaeomancer, right? Maybe they're worried about me, having playable spells in my hand. Well, joke's on them. Go ahead and bounce the untapped mountain. I lost all 3 of my counterspells, but they've lost 3 counterspells as well. Go ahead and deny them mana. Maybe I should be targeting my own thing, but I think denying the mana does have a pretty strong purpose here. Discard a mountain, presumably. Yeah. I don't think attacking now is good. Attacking next turn, I can attack both horrors, but let's see what they if they use that floating mana. If they do, I get to flicker mage and horror. But I have missed pretty hard otherwise. Opponent could have another lightning bolt. I think I'm just going to draw a card with the on targeting prism instead of mage. Could also have the spread. Might as well save my horror rather than target the other one. Having a horror in play is valuable. Go ahead and target Archaeomancer. It deals with the Ephemerate, but they can get it back next turn. However, I still get to draw my card off of the flicker, and then my Ephemerate comes back down. I get to target something else. Spell. Huh. I could just target 2 horrors and then bounce both lands. But I think I'm just gonna chill on the flicker. Targeting. Did they play the land previous turn? This is my turn. They did not play a land last turn, so they just drew the island. I'm targeting at least 1 horror, but I might target both. Yeah, I'm going to target both. Now my plan is targeting Archaeomancer and Relic, I guess. If I can get them to eat their 3 counterspells, that does help mitigate their Archaeomancer. Well, okay, they have another Scred. That's fine. I'll just target Archaeomancer. Wait, what? Oh, wow, this is a really bad play. Because now I just target the Archaeomancer, right? And then they don't have an Archaeomancer because they have no cards in hand. Now they have to just sack their Relic and then discard whatever the card they draw. Surely it's better to just discard the Scred, but... Well, I could just miss here. No, opponent. Aww. Oh, no. You're attacking as well? I should have Moment's Peace there, but I didn't F3 in time. I'm going to target my Trinket Mage so I can draw a card. There's nothing I really want to horror anyway. Really don't want to horror a Skyfisher and then they figure out they can sack their Relic. But we've got, well, 2 more redraws at a wall or a spell that does something. Let's play our Trinket Mage first. Because, like, if we get a wall, they get to eat our graveyard. But they can eat their own graveyard as well, and their graveyard's way better stacked than ours, right? Now, see if we can draw some things that do things. That would be really helpful right now in TGO. Boom, blue spell. Well, if you're going to draw a blue spell, Volt Drifter is a good one. Oh. That's also pretty good, isn't it? Alright. Yeah, we're just gonna swing. We get our horror back if they draw anything we care about, and if they don't draw anything we care about, they die. So seems fair to me. I should be at 4 more and have this Moment's Peace exile, but I kind of effed up there. But whatever. I didn't think they would sack the Relic into turn, but that was also an option they had. It would not have been a good one. I should have gotten rid of the second Ephemerate, I don't think, but... Alright. Oops. Somehow I clicked on that, and then it didn't ask me if I wanted to do anything with it, so... Whatever. They have to chump Horror and block something, and then have a removal spell, or they are dead. That doesn't do anything. That chumps. Now they get to eat 2 2/2s and go to 2. And it gives me a better target for my pulse, because they're going to eat my Muldrifter. Or not. Okay. Okay, there we go. They figured it out. Now they have 2 creatures against my 2 lethal threats, plus 3 1-power threats when they're at 2. So, they need to top deck this turn, and I think it has to be Muldrifter specifically. Archaeomancer, I just... Okay. Nice relic opponent. Horror's good. Muldrifter, I think, is better. God, that relic was so good for me. I didn't use my graveyard at all until just now, right? That relic was so good for me. Well, they top decked the Ephemerate. I think they still need land of Muldrifter, right? No, because that doesn't save them. They need Pulse of... No, because they don't have any cards to target with Pulse Marasa. They need to play 2 creatures, otherwise they die. God, Relic is so bad. God dang. Okay. So, our opponent plays Sprite. At least one. They play Muldrifters and... Archaeomancers. So I won at least 3 Pyroblasts. I did not see any Glinthawks, but I did see 2 Skyfishers. So I can't... well... Maybe our opponent has previous results. I probably should have looked at this, but... You know... I could just guess they're on Jeskai and be correct, and our opponent doesn't have any recent results, so... It doesn't matter. Our opponent is extremely eager to use their relic, or rather, to have a relic and just keep it in play forever. Play around stuff here. I'll keep 2 anti-combat cards, I suppose. Let's cut a Flicker. Do I even want to cut a Flicker? Not really. But maybe the 3rd Pyroblast is going to be good enough. Or the 4th Pyroblast, rather. See what our opponent has after board. If we get to a game 3 and our opponent's not going to be dead on time, then we get to figure out exactly what we want to do. We're keeping hand's not perfect, but color mana plus Tron you're going to keep. These 2 cards are actually pretty good together, but they do need another card to make them worthwhile. And that, well, hopefully that'll come soon. I'm going to play Plant first. I have 2 mines, but if I run out a mine first, they're not going to destroy it if they do have turn 3 Stone Rain. Oh, well, never mind. I should have played them. Well, do we think they're on turn 3 Stone Rain? If they are, then I should have played the mine. Probably doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah, any of these lands probably would have been a better first turn play, but well, our opponent doesn't have turn 3 Stone Rain anyway. They're digging for Astrolabe, I assume. And then figuring out if they have the Astrolabe to play. Nope. Pass. You don't want to do anything? I don't want to do anything. Our opponent played turn 1 Mountain, right? Yeah, they did. That was why I was worried about Stone Rain, but it doesn't matter. My opponent has no pressure, so I'm just going to keep passing turn. Eventually, we'll draw a second filter artifact, or a creature, or a counterspell, and then we'll be able to start playing some of these things. Or our opponent will do something like Ancient Grudge the Astrolabe, at which point we'll respond with the Flicker. We just don't... They just don't have any pressure, so we can just sit here. We're not going to miss land drops. They might miss land drops. Probably not, though. They have a double white. Oh, I draw a spell. I drew a spell. I drew the spell. Anyway. If our opponent has Stone Rain now, we, surely they'll target one of these 2 and not the plant. And then we can just let it resolve without having to expose a Flicker or anything. Yep. Opponent is tapping their blue mana pretty aggressively. Makes me smell Pyroblast. They may have Pyroblast Dispel in hand. Alright, they have to discard a card. That's cool. Opponent is not missing land drops, though. They are Brainstorm locked, which is pretty decent for us. Brainstorm locked and discarding hand size is a good combo. And Shattering Pulse was very good here, because now if they go Astrolabe into Skyfisher or Glinthawk, I get to just destroy it. And then that forces them to both tap mana and expend counter spells to get rid of my Pulse, which seems good for me. Yep. Alright, I think that was the card they drew. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and Shattering Pulse here. If they have exactly Dispel, then... I did not expect that to work. My opponent's hand has to be just a bunch of sprites. If they had a Core Skyfisher, they just play it, returning the Astrolabe. Same with Glinthawk. If they have Mold Drifter, they'd have played it by now. I'll just play Trinket Mage into their Pyroblast. I don't care if they're... What? I am so confused. I'm just gonna use a Flicker. Try to get it dispelled. What the... What is in my opponent's hand? I should have clicked the Astrolabe in case I drew the fourth Astrolabe, but... They have to have just sprites, right? So I'm just gonna play into their sprites. What the hell? I have drawn nothing. I have completely blanked. But my opponent also has played nothing, so I'm under no pressure. Look at how many lands I just drew in a row. Jesus Christ. Alright, it's fine. Everything's fine. We're not in a horrendous shape. We could discard a island. We don't really need that much more colored mana. We got all 4 Astrolabes in play, so I mean... Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, draw your cards. I don't care. I'm gonna have way more mana than them, and way more good draws than them. And they have to discard 2 cards at the end of turn. I'm not gonna Flicker into turn. I don't want to even let them use a Dispel or whatever. What I really need to draw is like a Teachings. If I just draw Teachings, I get to just get a pile of counter spells, and then force through wall loops to counter everything they play. Oh, that was a good draw. Alright, so they discarded Scred and Mold Drifter rather than casting either. Feeling pretty good about our chances here, everybody. Everybody at home. Tower's fine. I'm gonna play the tower and play a Mold Drifter. So my opponent's just passing. What the hell? Again, I've just completely blanked. My hand doesn't do anything, but clearly my opponent's hand doesn't do anything either. Dash for 2. I don't want to play anything. Well, I want to play the map. I don't need the I don't need to buy back the pulse if they force me to do so. Force me to use it. I can just pay it for 2. And then I have Dispel, Ephemerate, Flicker up. So, and I'm still representing like 4 counter spells. Like, they have to be asking themselves, what could possibly be in their hand that they didn't cast anything. And that answer is a pile of counterspells, and I don't care about their card draw. Relic doesn't really hurt me because I have horror. I have both horrors in my library, right? Yeah. Sure. Wait, they got Scred? Why? What the hell? What the hell? What's going on over there, opponent? What you got going on over there? They just have a ton of relics that do nothing. Unbelievable. Alright. Now, we've drawn extremely badly, which means we're not particularly out of the woods, but right now we get to go Flicker on Prism and Muldrifter. They spread the Muldrifter, sure, don't care. Well, that's not true because they don't have our Astrolabe in play, so I can Ephemerate the Muldrifter and then Dispel, and then they're tapped out and they can't use Relic. You know, same deal. I'm going to Dispel. And then if they... This is going to work. This can't work. My opponent discarded a Hydroblast earlier at some point that I didn't even notice. Alright. My opponent's dead, right? I have not drawn a Pyroblast. If I had a Pyroblast, my opponent would be actual dead. But as it stands, my opponent goes Crack Relic. I Ephemerate. Well, no. Do it in a better order. The Crack Relic. I Pulse this Relic. If they crack again, I get to Ephemerate back. I guess I just draw a ton of cards and figure out what I want. I haven't played my land this turn, so I have a tower coming. Sure. What? I am very confused. So they have the Dispel and they just didn't use it. So I let them Dispel here, and then I Flicker, get back Ephemerate, and then... What? I'm fine losing the Compulsive. I don't need to deck them. Alright, draw your card. You have no graveyard. One of your Ephemerates is gone. I am so confused. Let's evoke a Muldrifter and figure out where we are. Drink Mage does nothing. I will Dispel a Dispel. There's another Ephemerate. What the hell is my opponent's hand? I'm gonna play Prism and figure it out. Alright, I'm gonna pass, discarding Ash Barrens, Trinket Mage. I guess I can swing. I don't mind trading. I have an Ephemerate coming off, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely trade for Muldrifter here and then discard 3 useless cards. Ash Baron's technically taps for colorless mana, but I think both maps are gone. No, I guess I could have thinned out with that Tricky Mage, but I also can do so by flickering. And I don't need the extra clock of a Grey Ochre, so not with both horrors still active. So what's my opponent's hand? I've given the opportunity to use sprites. I've given the opportunity to use ephemerates and dispels. I don't know what can be in my opponent's hand. Like, if my opponent ephemerates here, I just say okay. My opponent bottomed and then cycled Ash Barons, so their Scry's back. Their Scry got shuffled back in. Maybe they have a bunch of counterspells, and they just didn't cast them for reasons that don't make sense. My Pulse Ross is still active, right? And I have both teachings, so I target here. They scred. I flicker. They counter. I dispel. Well, do I care about the dispel? Not really. I'm gonna go ahead and ephemerate. Try to get back flicker. They'll sprite here, and then I get to what? Oh, they have to counterspell. Oh, that's funny. So there's no real. I don't care about anything my opponent can do here. Their best plan is ephemerating back the scred. Well, no, because they. Their best plan is having another red spell. But then I still just get them. Yeah. Because now I get to go wall. Wall, ephemerate, get back to spell. Assuming I draw nothing. Yeah, sure, whatever, don't care. I'm gonna bounce their Archaeomancer, so their ephemerate gets eaten. That's their second ephemerate. Yeah. Yep. I have more than enough mana to do this and leave up Dispel, so I'm gonna play Prism first. Oh. That also locks the game up, because now I can get a Pyroblast. I guess I can't leave up. I can't leave up Dispel, huh? But I do have the Pulse of Marasa, so. Well, we're definitely casting both ephemerates, right? We'll figure out how much mana we have after that. Ephemerate. So we cast the Ephemerate and get back Dispel. And then we can Teachings for Pyroblast and just kill the Archaeomancer rather than bouncing it. I like that. I did put in all 4 Pyroblasts, right? Yeah, I just haven't drawn one. I guess I kind of flooded out there for a little bit, but then we finally drew Teachings and they were dead. Dead in the water. To you, or for you, rather. Alright, we should be on to the top 4 very soon. Like, the best thing my opponent can do is have a third Ephemerate and a second Archaeomancer, right? Oh, I haven't lost all of my... Yeah, it's fine, I don't care. They have a counter spell in hand that we know about. Scred, sure. Which means I need to defend my Pulse. Oh, if I get to untap, I can have Teachings as well. So yeah, they're very dead. They're very dead. Resolves. We'll draw 2 cards from the second Ephemerate. Prohibit locks the game up. I get to go horror, bounce their mountain. I don't care. I'm just gonna counter this. Opponent doesn't have a Dispel in the graveyard, so the best they can do is have Dispel plus Pyroblast, which I will be able to beat with the Flashback Teachings. Go ahead and target here. They can get Scred back with a second Ephemerate, but then they just die to having no cards in hand, so not optimal for them. I have no mana floating, so I'll just pass priority. And then attack for 2. And then we'll go ahead and pulse for the wall, wall, ephemerate. That should do it. I don't know why I tapped 5 mana there. Opponent has conceded, though. I was just going to get ephemerate, and then get back Flicker, because then there's nothing that you can do to stop me. Alright, where we have successfully defeated Jeskai every time we face it. We are now against Mezzle. I believe that's how the bracket worked out. Mezzle's going to be on Mono Blue Delver, which means we are going to need to win the die roll. Winning the die roll helps a lot, because it lets you play through all their sprites and stuff. And once you get colored mana down, or get your Tron active, if you can resolve all your sprites, or all your astrolabes, prisms, and maps, eventually you'll draw Tron and then just start resolving Moldrasters and they can't come back. But that does require winning the die roll. Let's see if we can do it.